Hello and welcome back to QRS Entertainment. At the start of Week 2, I gave my picks for the NFL Week 2. Except for the Giants and Washington football team, that game had already been played. I would have picked Washington, even though it was a lot closer game than I thought. I will not be factoring that into the end score of this. Now on to the Patriots and Jets. I had the Patriots. If you pick the Jets, I don't really know what your thought process is at this point. I know the Patriots aren't as good as they used to be, but they're still better than the Jets. The Bucs and the Falcons, I've had the Bucs winning. Though the Falcons put up a good fight, as well as a 48-25 loss can be, they still came out and they didn't get rolled over. I had, out of the Jaguars and the Broncos, I had the Broncos. Not a surprise there. Jaguars are the worst team in the NFL, so that was an easy call. I had Buffalo to win over the Dolphins. I didn't know that they were going to roll over them like they did. Still not a great showing for Josh Allen, which hurts me because he's my fantasy quarterback, but they did what they had to do and got the win. The Browns over the Texans. Browns won, as you could probably suspect, though the Texans did come out and play. They didn't, roll over like the Dolphins did, but the Browns are just a better team. This is the first one I got wrong, the Bengals and the Bears. I did pick the Bengals. I know the Bears are probably a better team, but I felt that there could have been upset potential here, and there almost was. They only lost by 3, but the Bears did what they had to do and got the win. 49ers and the Eagles. 49ers get the win, barely. I know a lot of people are still upset about the fantasy production with the 49ers. They're so unpredictable, but they did what they had to do to get the win. So the Saints and the Panthers. I got this one wrong as well. I had definitely bought in on the hype of Jameis Winston being with the Saints, and I wasn't really buying in on the Panthers. Well, I was wrong, and it wasn't even close. So nothing really much to say on that one other than I guess the Panthers are a legit team. And the Rams and the Colts. I had the Rams. Still another game that I didn't think would be as close as it was, but the Colts aren't a bad team. It's just the Rams are just slightly better. And another one I got wrong. The Raiders are a team that I didn't believe, and I guess they're just going to prove me wrong every week. And I was really kind of high on the Steelers. I thought this would be an easy win for them, but that's not the case. So I guess in the future I'm going to have to reevaluate how I look at the Raiders. They might be an actually halfway decent team. Alright, going forward, we have the Cardinals and the Vikings. Man, this was probably the best game of the week in my opinion. This one and probably the Seahawks game, but I believe in my last video I predicted that this was going to be a good game, and the Vikings are as good as the Cardinals, but the Cardinals they're on fire right now. I know it's only 2 games in, but still, they're on a mission and they're taking care of business, and Murray's he's been phenomenal. I will see if he can keep this up the whole season. The Cowboys and the Chargers. I did have the Cowboys on this. This was kind of a sloppy game, and I figured the Chargers were going to come out on top and prove me wrong, but the Cowboys did just enough to keep the win, even though Dak did not perform that well, or Zeke for that matter. Just like the Cardinals and Vikings game, the Tennessee and Seahawks games was very entertaining, a lot of fun. I watched most of this game, and I didn't see Tennessee coming out on top, but they did, especially after that horrendous showing in Week 1 when they just got the doors blown off by the Cardinals. But that's why they play the games, and I guess I don't know where to get a feel on this Tennessee team or on the Seahawks team. I thought the Seahawks team would come out and destroy them, much like the Cardinals did. But they edge it off and get that field goal in overtime to seal it. All right, the Ravens and Chiefs got this one wrong too. I think most people would got this one wrong unless you were in Baltimore or a Ravens fan. and they barely lost. I actually stopped watching the game in the first quarter. I just didn't have any interest. I thought the Ravens were a pretender. An upper echelon pretender. I shouldn't say pretender, but definitely not the quite of the caliber like the Chiefs are or the Buccaneers are. And hey, they won and they gave the Chiefs an early loss in this year, and it's actually probably good for football and good for the Chiefs to know that they're not perfect and they can be taken down by these lower level teams. Not to give disrespect to the Ravens. I also feel that most of my losses came from 1 to 5 points or less. Like the Seahawks, the Chiefs, the Bengals, all these ones that I lost. Well, besides the Saints, that was a blowout. But all of them are just by a couple of points, so I wasn't too far off. All right, for Monday night, I had the Packers, and I believe I also said that they were going to destroy the Lions, and they definitely did that. Now, the Lions did play a little bit better than I thought they would, but, Green Bay they were ready for revenge after last week, or maybe not revenge, but to show everyone that they're not pretenders, and to let them know that they're still here to contend for a championship. So my final tally was 10 correct picks, 5 wrong picks, and 1 that I didn't pick because the game had already been played. And out of those 5, 3 of them were 3 points or less. The only 2 being the Saints game and Carolina beating the crap out of them, and Pittsburgh and the Raiders. I would say that's pretty decent overall, but I'm going to try to be better next week, and I'll have those predictions out before Sunday, or before Thursday, I should say. I don't want to miss those Thursday night games. I also wanted to share real quick, I did pick up the win this week, so I am 1-1 now. And really it all came down to that Monday night game. Hawkinson and Adams really pulled it out for me and gave me the win. It was rough before coming up to that point, but I got the win this week and going to try to get one out next week as well. I'll definitely let you know how that one goes as well too. And thank you, and have a good one, and take it easy.